Camacho. Thank you so much for coming on my show. It's an honor to have you here. How are you?
I'm doing real good and so honored to be here, brother. Thank you so much for the invite.
You must. Well, the honor is all mine. I've followed your work for many, many years. First time I actually saw you was in the movie Firepower that you did with Chad
Oh,
McQueen,
wow.
Gary
Yeah.
Daniels. Yeah, I was that big, and I saw it because I was a huge fan of the Ultimate Warrior. Brian Helwig, who played the swordsman.
Yes,
He didn't
Jim.
say much in the movie apart from two, I just remember two dialogues from the whole movie. He says, "Get me out of here now!" and
Oh, man, he was a character, man.
he was. I'm surprised. Did you say to him on set of Firepower to go like do the Ultimate Warrior?
A funny thing about Firepower and Jim, he was a gentle giant, the funniest
Yeah,
guy, the biggest laugh. I don't know if you're familiar with the show called The Munsters. Remember the old monster
yeah.
with
I remember. I
Frankenstein?
remember
And
that. Yeah, yeah,
he was so goofy like that. He was funny guy, man. He'd have this big hearty laugh and just a great guy. I went to his house in Arizona while we were filming, and I was training him a little bit, in movie fighting. But he
yeah.
just had so much heart. Such an honor to work with him.
That's good. That's good. But like I said, I followed your work since that young age, and I just that was actually the very first time I saw you and Gary Daniels. I knew slightly in a way because remember we had no internet back then, and
Right.
I remember Chad McQueen mainly from The Karate Kid because he played one of the Cobra Kai students in there, and obviously I knew who Brian Helwig was as the wrestler, the Ultimate Warrior. But what you two did in that movie was absolutely mind blowing. Credit goes to yourself and Gary Daniels, and
Oh no.
it was just absolutely amazing. I was instantly became fans of the both of you, not just one, two. So one great movie, two fan of two martial arts. But I've got to say, it's an absolute honor to have you on my show, Art. Thank you very, very much.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
brother. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. So, what I like to do now, what I do with all my guests, is part of my faith, it's part of tradition. I like to do three important things for you. Number one, I like to send peace and blessings upon you, extend a prayer onto you to pray that everything you do in life goes well. I wish you nothing but the best but success. And I hope whatever you're striving for, you receive more of it. And that also goes towards your loved ones as well. And you just achieve, again, nothing but greatness every step of the way. Amen to that. Amen to that. Thank you.
He means
Thank you.
mutual.
Thank you. Thank you. Gracias. Gracias. And number two, I'd like to say congratulations on all your accomplishments with martial arts, with movies, with film directing. You've got the record out. Well, it's not out in the UK yet, but I can't wait for that. Yeah, I know. I know. I know. And congrats on working on all these big stars you've worked with over the course of your career. And number three, most important question, because my show is called Chat Over Coffee. How do you like your coffee in case we ever have the opportunity of meeting each other?
I like it with a pink, a blue, and some cream. The sweeteners. Pink,
All
blue, and
right,
cream.
all
Cream.
all right, fine. If I'm ever out in LA, we'll go for a coffee, and coffee's on me. Yeah, deal. Thank you very much. So, like I said, I've followed your work for many years now, and it's you are an absolute legend in the world of martial arts, also in the world of movie making as well. Because like I said, the first character I ever saw you play was Viper in the movie Firepower, and one line I remember you doing that when Chad McQueen's character walks over to you and goes, "I saw you fight out there. That's really good. Yeah, a couple more fights like that, I can make some real money." I'm sorry.
What do you think? At
Yeah,
least
and one, yeah, decent money. And then, like I said, yeah, it was just a blast seeing you move like that. You were just exceptionally fast on your feet with the kicks, the punches, and everything with the weapons training. That was just some next level. When you came, I can remember when your character comes out and you see him for the first time, he's dancing around like, yeah, I'm here. I'm gonna show my stuff. I'm gonna do this. It
so
was
much fun.
awesome. Yeah,
So
that
much
awesome
fun, brother.
night. Like awesome 90s action. Can't get anything
Mm.
better than that without a shadow of a doubt. So, so I'd like to ask you, so what is your martial arts background and where was the inspiration from?
I think my first martial arts my first training at all was in Japanese karate. I lasted
Okay.
3 months. was terrible, terrible. I'm telling you, man. The instructor, out of kindness for my father, told him, you know what? I don't want to take your money. Your kid ain't gonna amount to nothing. Nice way. But I got very serious in in martial arts, and I started really training hardcore once I discovered my Sifu Eric Lee in One Hap Kuen Do. And
Oh
that's
yeah.
what I stuck. That became my foundation. And then I've trained sporadically, cross-trained in Kali, Jeet Kune Do, most recently in Wing Chun. But my core is One Up Kuen Do, and my Sifu, my mentor, everything to me is Eric Lee.
Oh
And
yeah. Yeah.
my biggest inspiration to get into martial arts was basically a couple of things. One, getting beat up by gangbangers. Five guys jumped me,
Mm.
beat the crap out of me. I mean, I got scars everywhere. And
Sorry to
Bruce
hear that.
Lee. And
Of
you
course.
know
Yeah.
what? Honestly, it was a good thing because I tell you, man, if I hadn't had that beaten and discovered Bruce Lee almost simultaneously, it was that perfect storm. I
Oh
wouldn't be
yeah.
sitting here talking to you.
Well, we're glad. I'm glad you're here as well. The fans are glad you're here as well, and you just keep kicking. You just keep kicking ass every step of the way. All the best to you there. And so, what is your current fitness regime as well? Because you're still in phenomenal shape. I got to admit, practically every martial arts actor I've had the opportunity of speaking to still remains in absolute fantastic shape.
Oh, thank you, brother. You know what? I train almost every day. I train in weights, I do cardio and martial arts. I really when I don't train, like sometimes when I'm shooting a movie, I'll go 2, 3 days without training, and
Yeah.
I go into a funk. I need my body. I need to feel it. I need to move. To keep. It's funny. I was on a panel yesterday, 2 days ago,
Okay.
and everybody's talking, and I was getting antsy. I mean, it's really wonderful conversation. But when it came to me, it's like, okay, well, let's do something, man. So I had the guy throw me a punch, and I'm showing him, martial arts, and get it out of my system. You
Yeah.
know.
No, that's good. Because it's true. Whenever you start, the thing is, whenever you do any form of fitness, whether it's weights, martial arts, boxing, anything, for a person who's into it continuously, they feel agitated. They feel a bit lost in the day when that isn't there for them, isn't it? It's always basically like it's like I always say to somebody, go for a walk if you have to do so in order to maintain some fitness, have some mental clarity. And even on Sundays when the whole world's asleep, that's the best time to go for a walk where nothing's around, nothing's going to bother you, and it's just you alone with the elements. That's it.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. And it's part of my life. It's not even a choice. I don't have a choice. I have to do it.
Well, I can
It's
see
like
you
breathing.
still, yeah, exactly. I mean, I can still, you still look exceptionally well for your age. I'm guessing you're about,
Oh,
no, I'm guessing you're
I'm in my
about
sixties.
mid. No, I was about to say mid forties to mid to late forties. I was going to say about that length.
Very kind
No,
of
it's
you.
just it's no, no. It's very kind of you. You took the time out for me, so I'm going to keep extending compliments and best wishes onto you every step of the way. And you,
You know what? The one thing I will give you is that I
yeah,
can go in training and whatever on sets, and guys half my age can't keep up with me
yeah.
sometimes.
I'm not
I
surprised.
push.
I'm not surprised. They can't take on the Viper. They can't take him on. Yeah, the Viper. But yeah. So one question is, how did you get into the movie business?
I always had a passion for films. I just never had it in me, and I never knew how. How to get into it? I mean, that's the biggest question. How do I start? And so I started, doing like extra work. I found out how to do extra work, and I did it for like 6 months.
Oh
And
yeah,
the routine is you go there, and you sit down, you eat, you snack, and then you walk in your scene, come back after 2 weeks, that got tired. That got boring.
yeah.
So then I really started to see cameras, working with stuntmen, seeing how they do everything. That was my education. And one day, my Sifu, Eric Lee, called me up and he says, "Art, want to get your butt kicked for $50?" I'm like, "I'm there." I'm there. That was it.
Yeah.
And that's
That's
the
good.
whole journey, brother.
That was a good line
So,
though. Do you want to get you? Do you want to get? Do you want to get beat up for $50? Yeah. What time do you want me there? It happens, doesn't
now,
it? It happens, doesn't it? I mean, like I can remember when I was doing acting work myself, and I started off as an extra. Then I got into theatre work and everything. My agent would say, "Do you know this show that's quite popular in England?" Yeah, of course I do. And do you want to be the extra tomorrow? Yeah. What time do I have to be on set? 8 o'clock in the morning. I have to go 3 hours to get you there. Yeah, all right, fine, I'll be there. So had to hop on the train. There was no parking anywhere, and just had to get on set. And surprisingly, it took them 2 hours extra to get everything set up. So that worked in my favor. That they always say be there on time, but they're never on time to start the production, are they?
Absolutely. Never, 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 never. I've been doing this 30 years, man, and never on time.
So
But you
so
have to
you
have,
were about 15 when you started, yeah?
yeah, about 15, 16. There you go. I'm a young pup.
Absolutely awesome, awesome. So, but yeah, so what is one of the best experiences you ever had from the movies, would you say? What is your overall favorite experience? Other than being on the set, other than being on the set.
I think overall, just the big picture of it is that I've been able to just to make a living, creating. Because again,
Yes,
now that I'm like a writer, producer, director, I mean, you get to do it all. I mean, as a director, you're interpreting somebody's vision and making it your own. As a writer, you're creating this world out of air, you know? And
yeah.
I think I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 films that I've done, I've written as well. And those films, it's real interesting because I'm looking at these actors, whether it's Martin Cove or, you know, Tyrese or whoever saying the words that I wrote. It's like, wow, wow, because this was just a thought in your head. All of a sudden, somebody else takes it and it becomes real. That's, I think, the big takeaway from everything. But individual experiences, I grew up watching, again, early on, Don Wilson, Steven Seagal. And when I went to Germany to work with Steven Seagal, that was one of the highlights of my life. I thought,
Oh, and
wow,
Half Past Dead,
Steven
wasn't it,
Seagal.
that you did? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm still a
yeah,
big fan of Steven Seagal, and
yes,
because one thing I always liked about him, and I've said this to quite a few other actors I've interviewed, is he brought something different to the screen, just like yourself. Like with Steven Seagal, nobody saw Aikido before. Every martial art they saw prior to him was always kicking, punching, but nobody saw grappling martial arts, and he brought that because I can remember one interview he had with the. If Steven's listening, a big shout out to him, and is basically he said that when he went to the producers for the first time, they said, "We want you to do a kung fu movie." He goes, "I'm not trained in kung fu. There's like 5,000 kung fu movies. I want to show the world Aikido." I like the way how he stood his ground and he said that, yeah, I want to show the world something that it hasn't seen before. And because of that, when Above the Law came out in 1988, 88, yeah, and I snuck downstairs to watch it when everyone says you can't watch this movie. I said, why not? Because this guy just it makes you tempted to watch it even more. And they say you can't watch it. It's this. But I said, all right, I'll go to bed. When they're in bed, you're like,
no,
okay, everyone's asleep. I'm gonna sneak downstairs watch it. It's like, oh, that guy Steven Seagal's so cool. I started growing my hair and then tying the ponytail up as well between us and everybody else watching it. And what was what was even funny. Don't tell
I
anyone.
love
It's already on. It's already on camera.
it.
And one thing I remembered was is that he said, "I want to show the world Aikido," and because of that, the lessons increased. More students wanted to learn Aikido because if he hadn't stood his ground, it never would have been showcased to the whole world.
Absolutely. Him, I mean, everyone has their own, again, every time you have a new person out there and they come out with something new, like now it's John Wick, but then everybody
Yeah.
wants to do John Wick. And
Yes.
uh, and again, to me, the biggest influence, again, going back, it was Bruce Lee.
Of
Bruce Lee, the
course.
first Bruce Lee I saw, Chinese Connection, and it blew me away. I'd never seen anybody so dynamic, so exciting to watch.
Indeed. Indeed. Same thing when Jean-Claude Van Damme came onto the screen as well, where
Oh, yeah.
nobody had ever seen. Yeah, nobody saw a bodybuilder because he was a bodybuilder. He was Mr. Belgium for a while, but nobody saw a guy who was that built, great martial artist, but incredible flexibility all at the same time. Same thing when I saw Gary Daniels. I never knew when I watched Firepower for the very first time. My cousin We were in another city. My cousin worked at a video shop. He goes, "You like The Ultimate Warrior?" "Yeah, I do." Because he's got a movie coming out. "Can you rent it? Can you bring it over to the house?" And he goes, "Right, we'll watch it tonight then." He brought it, and he goes, and I never knew who Gary Daniels was. I never knew who you were at the time. My apologies, but I know who you are now, and again, I'm grateful you're on my show. No, it's seriously. If I watched Firepower them years ago, and someone said to me, "You're going to interview Art Camacho one day," I'd have laughed in their face. I think now when this interview comes out, they're going to laugh in my face, like, "Haha, we told you," and all right, fine, you told me. Same thing when I interviewed Chris Master. I never thought in a million years I'd talk to him. Chris, he's just phenomenal, and big shout out, and again, term of respect to everybody out there. And when I saw Gary speaking off camera, when Chad, the scene in the restaurant, when him and Chad McQueen are sitting down, and then you can hear him in the background going, "Well, you know how it is. So many women, such little time." I was like, this guy's British. I had no idea. Because remember, we had no internet back then. We only had magazines, but you can't actually hear what the person's saying in there. You just read the
Right.
lines. And but Gary, just honestly phenomenal. I became an instant fan of the both of you back then,
Oh,
especially
man.
with like the kicks, the action, the flexibility, the explosiveness in all your moves. I mean, how do you go by doing that? Seriously, what's the secret? Or can you
Well,
share it on camera or no?
yeah, first off, I want to say Gary is just a phenomenal, phenomenal athlete. Even today, I mean,
Indeed.
the guy, incredible shape, the splits, all he can do. I mean, in that range, I don't hold a candle to him. I do my own thing. But
Yeah.
part of the whole thing, part of the speed and everything that I get, and I stole this concept from watching Bruce Lee, is number one, seriously, the broken rhythm of Bruce Lee, because he
Yeah.
wouldn't go one, two, three, go one, two, three, four, pow, pow, kind of explosiveness. And
Yes.
and in training, it's like boxing training or kickboxing training, where you go from a relaxed state to an explosive state, so you're exploding, as opposed to
Yeah.
always being tense and punch and blocking and all the, what I'm saying, very stiff. So that to me, and fortunately for me, I've had a lot of injuries. I have ripped biceps. I mean, you name it.
Ooh.
But
Yeah.
fortunately for me, I still keep a lot of that kind of training, so I'm still kind of explosive in my movement, because I go from a relaxed state to an explosive state. And you know what? The funny thing is that that makes it appear faster than what it is. It's
Indeed,
not that
it
I'm
does.
that good; it's that I make it look good.
No, you're both
That's the
you're that
trick.
good.
Make it
You're that good, honestly. I mean, like I said,
look.
I'm still. This is one of them pinch me moments talking to you right here and now. Sincerely, it is. I mean, I never thought in a million years I'd be
Oh
able to
man,
speak
thank
to
you.
you, brother. Honestly, I can't thank you enough for this, and I will eternally cherish this, and I will eternally be grateful for you as well, and for this. And again, I wish you nothing but the best for the foreseeable future to that. Thank you sincerely. And so one question, because when I first saw you, I saw you as an actor for the first time, but then you become a director. Where was the inspiration to become the director as well?
I have a deep faith in destiny. I have a deep faith in the way things work out. It's not necessarily what I planned, but it's what this
Yeah,
bigger force planned for me. Because honestly, I was just happy to get my butt kicked, make $50, maybe $100, maybe $200. I was happy.
yeah,
I was happy with that. But something pushed me. You know, I got asked to choreograph films, and I never dreamed I'd be a choreographer. Yet, 50, 60 films later, I'm a choreographer. But I also, in that same vein, these producers that I was working with constantly saw something in me, and we were on a film set one day, and this producer asked me, says, "Hey Art, do you want to direct movies?" And I thought this was Joseph Murphy, the producer of Firepower.
oh yeah, I
and
remember
and
him. Yeah, it's great.
and I told him, yeah, okay. I just thought he was just blowing smoke. A week later, I have an appointment. I meet with him. I walk away with a deposit, and I'm a director. And that's how it
Congratulations.
started. But I always had a vision, always had a vision for the way things could be. I always had that growing up. But I was able to be in the right place at the right time and give 200% of myself, and again, make people money. Make people money. That's part of the key, is that do good work, obviously, but also making people money. It's a business.
It
And
is
that's what
indeed.
happened. I didn't set out to direct, but God, or whatever force you believe in, pushed me in that direction and put me in front of these producers. By the same token, I am not a writer per se, but I've written several scripts. Actually, the film I'm doing next, I wrote the script too, out of necessity, out of being on that ledge. I always been able to put myself on that ledge where there's no turning back, brother. You're either gonna jump in that or run. I can't run.
That's fantastic.